All right. This is the last bit I'm going to do from 1.3. There's more to this section, but this is just trying to get the basics of what we need to cover. Understanding how confounding can affect the results of an observational study. So I've been talking about confounding a little bit as we've been going along. So imagine an observational study intended to determine whether smoking increases the risk of heart attacks. So a group of smokers and a group of non-smokers are observed for several years. And during that time, a higher percentage of the people in the smoking group experience heart attacks. So this is an observational study. I could not control anything. So one problem that we would have here is that when we have this observational study, there are other things that would make the group of smokers and the group of non-smokers different from each other. So the differences it's not just smoking. And if it was just smoking, that would be fine because smoking is my treatment. But if you're letting people choose smoking or non-smoking, there's other behaviors that are going to go along with it. People who smoke are more likely to be alcoholics or consume more alcohol. So that is one thing. This group will probably not drink as much alcohol, so we'll say drink more alcohol. They're probably both going to drink, but this group will probably drink less. That's just something that we tend to notice, that those two things tend to go together. There's other things that we may see difference between these two groups. Smokers tend to be more likely to be men. So the group of smokers are going to have more men, and the group of non-smokers are going to probably have more women. And along with that, because there's like confounding this even more, because they're men, they're at higher risk of heart disease. So drinking makes you more at risk for heart disease. Being a male makes you more at risk for heart disease. There's some other things that would go into this, whether you smoke or don't smoke. We won't go through all of them because some of them might, frankly, probably going to be a little insulting. But there are other things that tend to see in the different groups. There's exercise is another one. I know exercises. This one's not less of a problem than some of the other ones. Usually smokers exercise less. Those who don't smoke usually exercise more. Well, like I said, there's going to be these extra differences. So with an observational study, not only, the thing we want to be different is just smoking and non-smoking. And we're going to just so we can see if smoking affects heart disease, but there's other things that go with that. So smoking may be causing heart disease, but we can't say that for sure because it could be the fact that smokers also drink more, and drinking may cause heart disease. Smoking tends to be more common among men. Men are more likely to have heart disease. Smoking is related to usually less exercise, and people get less exercise are more prone to heart disease. So it's like this confounding thing that keeps happening and happening. And this is what we call this confounding variable, is these extra variables that get built into our study if we can't control everything. So a confounding variable is a variable that's related to both the treatment and the outcome. So like we said here, so we had smoking, which we wanted to control. We think causes heart attacks, but also men tend to smoke more and they tend to have more heart attacks. So that men is that confounding variable. So when a confounding variable is present, it is difficult to determine whether a difference in an outcome is due to the treatment or to the confounding variable. Is smoking causing the increase in heart attacks, or is it just simply being male is causing the increase in heart attacks and men tend to be smokers? So in an observational study of the effects of blood pressure, a large group of people of all ages were given regular checkups for a period of 1 year. It was found that people with high blood pressure were more likely to develop cancer than people with low blood pressure. So we want to know what could be the confounding variable. So there's several things that you can think of. So we have high blood pressure. And then I guess one group was found that people with high blood pressure. Okay, so we have one group high blood pressure, low blood pressure. I was seeing if that's what they said or said something else. And we have a group with low blood pressure. And we're saying that high blood pressure is linked to cancer. What we want to say is high blood pressure causing cancer? So because this is an observational study and I can't assign blood pressure to people, I have to just give, I have to let things be as they are. So somebody has higher blood pressure is probably also likely to have a high sodium diet. And then the people with low blood pressure are likely have low or normal sodium consumption. So it's possible because we know sodium does affect blood pressure. That is something we can actually study. We can assign people sodium and look at their blood pressure. Um, whether we should have or not, that's a whole other thing. We know a whole bunch of horrible things because of horrible things that happened in World War II. So maybe this is one of those things we learned. So anyways, we know that sodium is actually related to increases in blood pressure. So if somebody has higher blood pressure, it could simply because they have higher sodium in their diet. And if they have more sodium in their diet, that could be causing an increase in cancer. Other things are once again are less exercise, could be a possibility. Oops, sorry, yeah, somebody was talking to me right there. So like I said, less exercise in people with higher blood pressure is common. More exercise with people with lower blood sugars is common. And things like we know, like exercise and diet, we believe has an effect on cancer. I'm not sure if that was I don't think there was a randomized study on that. That's probably all observational study. We know those are things that are linked. So the question is it the higher sodium that's causing the cancer and the higher blood sugar, or higher blood pressure, or is it the high blood pressure is actually causing the cancer? We can't really say because, like I said, we have those confounding variables of diet and exercise. And there's possibility there's other ones as well. I believe that also men tend to have higher blood pressure than women do. So that may have some effect on cancer rates as well. It is known that drinking alcohol increases the risk of contracting liver cancer. Assume that in an observational study, a group of smokers has a higher rate of liver cancer than a group of non-smokers. Explain how this result might be due to confounding. Well, once again, we had already said this. Smokers tend to drink. Smokers tend to drink more. Um, Drinking may lead to liver cancer. That's a good possibility because you're consuming liquids and they're going to work their way through your liver, and anything that's working through your liver is going to be an issue. Um, so it's possible that smoking is not directly linked to liver cancer. It may be that you have that intermediate, that part in the middle where you have drinking is the problem. So once again, we have this situation again. We think this is going on when in fact it actually could be just this is going on. It could be going the other way around, and it could be that the smoking is actually causing the drinking, which is causing the cancer.